Once they give you money, you give them something. And my strategy for onboarding is giving them a roadmap to their success.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Nodes of Design. To help support our mission, spread knowledge, and knowledge should not be hidden behind paywalls, we have Eric on our show today. Eric is a sales coach and he's owner of Genmonster, where they've been shaping a lot of creatives on sales strategies and how to get empower in terms of sales. On today's episode, Eric has dropped a lot of value bomb in terms of how to do client onboarding, what are the various process one can do client acquisition, and various terms related to sales like what is CAC and how to maintain your annual balance, which is very important for freelancers where the business is on and off frequently. So stay tuned and happy designing, everyone. Hello, Eric. Welcome to Nodes of Design. I'm super happy to host you today on our episode.
Hey, Tej, it's nice to finally meet you, and I really appreciate you having me on the show today.
So, Eric, if you could give a small description about you to our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking. So my name is Eric. My business is Genmonster. And what I am is I'm a sales coach that helps service-based creatives such as photographers, designers, and videographers embrace the sales side of their business so that they can win the clients of their dreams. I help them find their unique approach and then create protocols around that and also create a strategy and a way to pitch themselves so that it attracts their dream client, but then also gives them a guide to closing business without that stress of having to ask yourself, what do I do next? Because no one likes that added stress when you're trying to close a client and you're like 2 inches away from doing it, but you just don't know where to go next. So I am that coach that helps guide that individual, whether it's from various phone calls before they have that conversation with the client, or just helping them build that email process to acquire that client. Now, right now, I'm actually at a bit of a pivot point in my career because, as you know, on Instagram, got a lot of hype because of my carousel posts. So people are reaching out via Instagram about how to design. So I'm in that point of discovery and trying to find that cozy spot between design and sales so that I can just kind of like cozy up in there with a warm blanket and call that place my own.
Wow, Eric, that was quite a hard description. Yeah. So I would like to thank you once again, Eric, for coming and helping us join the movement, spread knowledge.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This is a party. I'm excited.
Thank you so much. So on today's episode, we're going to discuss about client acquisition as you're a master sales coach. I have a few questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is client acquisition exactly, or how important is it for a designer to grow?
So client acquisition in itself is a series of events that leads up to winning a client for your business. As far as the importance of it, it's very, very important because without having some type of process, you don't have clarity on how you're going to acquire business for yourself. And without that clarity, it's this unknown thing of when you're going to get your next client. So the process itself is very beneficial to have mapped out. And the way you want to look at it is just finding that roadmap and sticking with it, sticking with what works, finding that approach and sticking with what works with that approach.
Super awesome, Eric. As you mentioned, there's a strategy. So what are your ways or methods or techniques that you do to onboard a client?
Okay. So acquiring a client and onboarding are two different concepts, but they marry so well together that they should work together like in harmony. So acquisition, a strategy is to figure out where your client lives and where they hang out. If you're a videographer or a photographer or a designer, understanding who your client is and where they spend most of their time will help you find the best method to reaching out to them. So let's say you're a photographer or